Rumble. Let's get Rumble going. There's Rumble. Okay. And Rumble is thinking about it. There we go. Okay. Hey, Connie, how you doing, hon? What is going on? I'm going to start off with a little bit of an apology here. I'm kind of sick. I caught something. Woof. It's been kicking the crap out of me for the last 48 hours, so if I don't sound right, if I cough a lot, if I have to leave and blow my nose, I apologize, because wow. I am a little bit off. Even the caffeine can't help. So hope everybody had a decent Sunday, but unfortunately, some Americans did not. And I'm not going to mince words here. Let me go to a tab. I'm going to find an ad for it. Let's see. See if I can find anything real new. There we go. See what we find just recently. All right. 21 minutes ago. Oh, here we go. All right. Let's take a look. Because I got a bunch of bookmarks and everything else, but let's see here. Sorry if I don't seem too prepared. I do have a lot of marks and stuff to look at. But for those who do not know, I'm sure Connie knows, you are in Colorado. There was a attack in Boulder, Colorado. It's a standard regular gathering that happens I'm not sure if it's weekly. It's supporters of Israel that are, and there'll also be some actual Israelis in there who are gathering in support of people still being held hostage by Hamas in Gaza. Well, and I have a lot to say about this because this is our second one going on in America. So we've got to nip it in the bud, especially since it comes out. This jackass was somebody the Biden administration let in, and not really totally legally, it seems. But either way, it is time to, that's it. Anymore, I don't want to have to sound like this. If you are a Hamas supporter, if you are spouting the free Palestine crap, then you should be labeled a terrorist and jailed or booted out of the country. If you're American, you're going to go to jail. It is a terrorist organization now. You are walking up on the street and offing two young people who are going to get married. You are walking up now to a standard gathering of people peacefully gathering, supporting families and people who are still being held hostage by Hamas in Gaza. And now you are throwing Molotovs and flamethrower type devices or whatever. And that's a stupid thing. They're calling flamethrowers. At people and attacking them and more of the Palestine crap. It is time to kick these freaking people out of here. I'm done with it. I am just done. All right, I'm going to check my sound. I just think we've got to do something about it. I don't think we should let these people hear. And I'm sorry, if you're an American citizen, yeah, you have freedom of speech to a point. Once your organization becomes a terrorist type organization, done. That's it. Now, with multiple attacks, by the way, there are attacks on other peaceful groups, people supporting and marching and having just Christian concerts now. This anti-Semitic crap has got to stop. The amount of people in this country that are so invested in this is a little scary. I'm not sure. I don't think we should be involved at all. Back away. Let these people finish this damn war. I know you guys have heard me do this before, but I am tired of this. Back away. Let it end. This is a forever war because everybody keeps getting flippin' involved. So I am tired of it. It needs to end. But if these people, anybody here that is not an American citizen, F you, go home. We should automatically deport anybody here, legally or illegally, if you support this crap. Done. Out. As for American citizens, sorry, this is now a terrorist organization. That's it. And don't, well, what about BLM and Antifa? Both of them, same thing. Once again, people are ended by all these lefty damn people. I'm tired of this. How much longer are we supposed to act like, oh my God, it's the right and the center that's so violent. It's the righties, so violent. Screw you. This is another lefty. We had a year of lefty plus lefty riots. We had Ferguson. We've had the May 29th attacks in the White House in D.C. and tearing up D.C. We've got attacks upon attack upon attack. Attacking Christian concerts, attacking anything Israel, attacking Trump people. How much longer are we supposed to play this friggin' game where we say, oh, is that right? No. It is time. Everybody looks at the mainstream media and lefties and goes, fuck you. It is you. 100% you. I'm done with this shit. I made a comment on the Boulder thing. I got deleted 2 times. Yeah, see, I'm not even sure what I can say here. I don't know. I'm trying to dance. I know that people saying the whole, let's see, the anti-Semitic, isn't it, and stuff and that. But I just don't care. My problem is and most of these leftards are know-nothings anyway. These are the people that say, well, Kamala is going to be an amazing president. 2 weeks after they said she should be booted off the ticket and that she's the worst VP in history. So I'm not taking any of these people serious. These people have no clue what they're fighting for. They're not over there. You know what? Shut the fuck up about it. But to go around and attack and riot and protest and take over schools and property and stuff over this, just dumb. I worked in Boulder at a strange place with strange people. It is now. I saw a lot of comments that Boulder has become more of a crap hole than it used to. Oops, jeez. I also mentioned the Aspen Institute there. They'll try and take away our freedom of speech. And Prince Harry sits on the board. Oh, how does Prince Harry... I didn't want to know. Because I told Harry Mountain... Interesting. But yeah, a suspect is in custody after what FBI is calling a targeted act of violence. No shit. At Pearl Street Mall, Boulder, Colorado on Sunday, witnesses said a suspect used a makeshift flamethrower and threw Molotov cocktails that burned multiple victims during a march in support of Israeli hostages. According to FBI officials, 6 people were injured. Yeah, and we don't know how bad these injuries are yet. Well, at least maybe they do in here, but the last things I looked up, they didn't know. The suspect was identified as a 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon. FBI Special Agent in Charge Mike Michalek said Sunday evening, Solomon was allegedly heard yelling, "Free Palestine." I think we can say it's a targeted attack. So yeah, during the attack, according to Michalek, who said that it was clear this is a targeted act of violence. Okay. So, yeah, targeted act of violence. Now, the reason I'm kind of getting crappy is the police chief come out and he was saying, well, we don't know, Chuck. Dude, if the asshole was yelling Free Palestine, I mean, I think we get it. Stop it. Standard lefty bullshit. Obfuscate. Has nothing to do with, well, we got to wait till the facts are out. If he was yelling Free Palestine, stop acting like, oh, oopsie, he just accidentally got Israelis. Sorry. Ugh. Solomon is an Egyptian national. Government officials confirmed to CBS Colorado. He arrived in California in 2022 on a non-immigrant visa, multiple sources told CBS News. The original visa expired in February of 2023, sources said. Solomon had at least been living in Colorado Springs. What that means is he was supposed to leave, and the Biden administration probably lost total track of this guy, which is the part of the problem. They lose total track of these people. They don't vet them. The Biden administration didn't vet nobody. Any lefties says, oh, we were vetting them. Bullshit. Then why do we have the attacks on our citizens by illegal immigrants, or the so-called vetted immigrants, going up over 600% under Biden? Why are the fentanyl deaths up over 400%? You didn't vet nobody. It was bring them in, and that's it. Yeah, and they weren't booting them even if they did find them. They said, hey, what we're doing, bringing people in. The FBI said later Sunday night it was conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity related to the attack on the Pearl Street Mall in Boulder, in El Paso County, Colorado, where Colorado Springs is located. Okay. Court-authorized law enforcement. One, if this guy's not a citizen, he doesn't get our normal rights. But this is just stupid. A walk to remember the Israeli hostages raid in Gaza was taking place in Boulder's downtown at the time of the attack. Two sources said witnesses told investigators the suspect also allegedly yelled "End Zionist" during the attack. And by the way, the police chief knew all this when he did his little press conference. He's trying to, once again, they're trying to play lefty. If this had been a Trump supporter, they'd have been as targeted, run up. They would not have minced. Honestly. If this guy was wearing a MAGA hat and was attacking, Kamala people or any Democrat gathering against him, oh my God. I'd be a horrible politician. I don't give a rat's ass what the party is. Because two-faced bullshit is two-faced bullshit, and I don't like it. The victims of the attack ranged in age from 67 to 88. Well, that's a really brave boy there. Goes and picks older people, 67 to 88, to flamethrower and throw Molotovs at. Sounds like standard Muslim and Hamas practices. Just saying. And we don't need this crap here. This is dumb in America. F this. This crap in other countries needs not be spilling over here. I'm just waiting. God help us. I don't want this to happen. I'm waiting for these Ukraine lunatics on the left. They're just as nutty as the anti-Israel lunatics on the left. See? Lefties. I'm waiting for them to start doing stupid shit like this. And I'm not saying all the Ukraine ones are on the pro-Ukraine ones are on the left. There's a lot of moron righties there too, but the lefties are the violent jackasses. And that's just a fact. It's time we all start saying it for what it is. Watch out for the left. They're violent turd buckets. So yeah, one was seriously injured with Boulder Police Chief Stephen Redfern saying it would be safe to say that person was in critical condition. What the frig type of mealy mouth? It would be safe to say they're in critical condition. Are they or are they not? My God, are you a police chief or a politician? Rabbi Israel Wilhelm, the Shabbat director at the University of Colorado Boulder, told CBS Colorado the 88-year-old victim is a Holocaust refugee who fled Europe. Oh my God. Calling her a very loving person. Another victim is a professor at CU, Wilhelm said. What the absolute? So an 88-year-old Holocaust refugee is what another one of Biden's, and he's illegal right now, by the way. If he overstayed his visa and the Biden administration didn't boot his ass, he's an illegal alien. This is fully on the last administration. 100%. And this is why we need to round these people up and we need mass deportations. We have no idea who any of these people are. We have American citizens having themselves deleted now over this crap. One, over this bullshit war we shouldn't be involved in. And why do these people, once again, why do people in our country take one side enough? And I don't care if you're on either side. I don't care if you're pro Gaza, I'm not saying the other word, or pro-Israel. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if you think we should be helping Israel more or less. I'm just saying we shouldn't be involved. And my biggest problem, though, is why does anybody in this country care so much that you are okay with offing people or attacking people? That is an illness. Maybe worry about your own shit. Maybe worry about getting a job, maybe who you vote on council, your judges, what's going on in our country that much. These people give a rat's butt about what happens in Israel, Gaza, more than in their own backyard. That is a mental illness. And once again, I'm going to call it like it is. This is the violent left. They don't care what it is. Whether it's Tesla, Ukraine, Israel, they don't care. Whether it's Antifa, BLM, it doesn't matter. Lefties are always just looking for a reason to be violent. It doesn't matter what it is. They don't even have to believe it. Next week, they could totally drop the Israel thing if something else pops up that they can be violent over, that they can rally around. They don't care. So an 88-year-old female Holocaust refugee. Yeah. This is Jesus. The people who were injured, I'll catch up the chat in a little bit. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm a little off of this in cold, flu, hell, for all I know, it's a panda type. I don't know. The people who were injured outside the historic Boulder County Courthouse at 13th Street and Pearl Street, well, thanks, I needed that. A burn scar would be seen in the space in front of the building. Witnesses said they saw people writhing on the ground and people running with water to try help immediately afterwards. UC Health confirmed that 2 victims were flown by helicopter to its burn unit. That is bad. That is bad. When they can't wait for an ambulance to get you to the burn unit, oh, hell. 4 others were taken to Boulder Community Hospital. Police said all 6 victims were still being treated as of 7 p.m. local time. According to Redfern, who said, I guess it's okay to say that there's a couple are serious. As a result of the attack, which happened at 1:26 p.m. local time, 3 blocks of Pearl Street were evacuated. Investigators said there were a vehicle of interest in that zone, which an FBI official later said belonged to the suspect. The evacuations were lifted after nightfall. FBI Director Cash Patel and FBI Director Deputy Director Dan Bongino described the incident as a terrorist attack and said around 3:30 p.m. the FBI agents were at the scene. Good. It's done with this. This is a person shouldn't have been in our country. Yes, the last guy was an American citizen, but that's, I mean, what the hell? We got illegal aliens here that are offing Americans. We got Americans that care so much about this crap. They're brainwashed by the left. They're offing Americans over this. That's it. This free Palestine shit, this anti-Israel shit, any of your groups, you should now, come on. After the other 2 people got offed horrendously, nobody came out and said, that's it, they're terrorist organizations. They need to be labeled it now. It's going to get worse if we don't stop these people. As for American citizens, you're part of this. We find out, we jail you. Done. Free speech has limits. If you're a terrorist organization, that's the end of your limits. If you're illegal doing this, you're out of here. That's it. We're going to send you to the jail down south. Now, I'm sure El Salvador would be more than happy to help. Oh, man. It's a standard group marching in support of people who are still being held and stuff. This is stupid. We're going to head on over. Oh, let me check the chat here. Hey, American Explorer, how's it going, man? Police chief made several strange... He did. He made a bunch of strange statements. If he obviously knows the guy was saying free Palestine and Zion and all this stuff, he knows what he was saying. And he's in the middle of a group of people, older people, by the way, 67 to 88, marching and in support of maybe Israel, but at least the hostages being held. Gee, it wasn't a boo-boo that he just happened to throw these things into that group. So, just ignorant. I am doing so-so. If you're talking to me, American Explorer, I picked up a virus, a cold or something, man. It's hit me pretty good. So if I break out coughing, I apologize. My throat is super itchy. Sinuses are clogged. My chest is off, and I'm drinking a lot of liquid. So I'm sleeping downstairs. I want to give this to the wife. She doesn't need this crap. All right, but here's a jackass right here. Breaking. Suspect identified as Mohammed Solomon in the border terror attack. He was shouting pro-Palestine propaganda with a thick accent. Yeah, because he's a foreigner. He was here on a visiting visa, and then he was supposed to have been gone. They let him stay here. The Biden administration was getting rid of as few people as they could ever afford to. This is why we need mass deportations. People should not be here. Multiple victims have been life flighted from the area. The man has been taken into custody. Yeah. Now, I don't know what I can show because YouTube is loath to see violence, and I get it to a point. But when you're talking about news, you should be able to have news. Thank you, American Explorer. Appreciate that. I'm trying, but I'm glad we have the way our house is set up because of my health problems and just the way it's set up. The way we've done it, I have stuff down here, and it sucks because the couch down here sucks compared to our bed. But, you do what you can do. But I don't know what I can show us. I'm going to leave these small. I apologize, but here's some of the goings-on that was happening at the time. These are people trying to help out burn victims in the background here. There's still smoke going on. They are throwing water on people back here, you can see. They're trying to help some people that were burned. This is not glorifying anything, YouTube. This is news. This was an attack on America and its people. This poor lady right up here is hurt. I mean, this is crazy. And I agree with Tim Pool here. I bookmarked a lot of stuff. I'm sorry if they're not in order. Like I said, I'm a little off. If I wasn't on here with you guys, I'd be sitting on my couch, drinking a lot of liquid, blowing my nose a lot, and trying to watch Dita Cobra play Battlefront 2. So, thank you, Connie. I appreciate that. This probably wouldn't be quite as bad, but when you add my lung problem to it, I already don't have enough air as it is, so this clamps down and woof. But I agree with Tim Pool here. Sorry, guys, I'm wandery. I'll try to get a little better while I'm here. We have a far-left terror problem in this country. I totally agree. I totally agree. And it is about time. I give Tim Pool credit. Far left. And Tim Pool's been calling this out for a while. It's not the right that's been doing all this crap. The only thing the left has to point at for right people is J6. And they spout it like parrots on crack. J6, J6. But then, once again, I advise all of you to do this. Anybody throws J6 at you, go, May 29th, 2020. And they go, what? Attack on Washington, D.C.'s downtown. Burned a church down across from the White House. Knocked down fences at White House grounds. Burned 2 guard posts. Injured 200 Secret Service and Washington, D.C. police officers. That is an insurrection. The president had to be put in a bunker. That negates J6. That means everything from Ferguson, the BLM Antifa riots, and they were riots, this crap, all the Tesla attacks, the other attacks we've been seeing, it's all lefties. Trump supporters attacked. When's the last time you hear of Trump supporters going out and punching a Kamala or Biden or a Democrat in the face? It doesn't happen. Okay, fair, it might happen, but it's super rare. The left is always doing this. The people walking into schools with bang-bangs are crazy lefties, for the most part. It's just craziness. I am done with this bullshit, and I give Tim Pool credit, 100%. It's the violent left. We got people like this guy that's not even supposed to be here doing this. The kid who did that crap in Washington, D.C., ended those 2 poor people's lives. Why does he care so much? In America. He's from Chicago. Chicago has a shitload of its own problems. Why does he not give a shit about what his own city is doing? more, why does he care about Gaza, Israel more? Because of the leftist mainstream media. The 10 plus years of brainwashing and hatred and stuff going on our campuses. Our college campuses teach people to be anti-Semitic. This is craziness. It was uncalled for sure, 100%. It was by design, yes. Yes, we do. The idea this was not a terror attack as far as beyond absurd, 100%. And the police chief, I don't know if I'll play any of him or not. But he said, when Patel and everybody else is calling it what it is, they all knew this guy said free Palestine, end Zionism, whatever. They knew that. And when that police chief's out there, well, we don't know if it's a terror attack or not. Jackass. So yeah, Jewish Federation of Greater Vancouver, we are horrified by the targeted terror attack in Boulder. We stand in solidarity with Colorado's Jewish community. This violent act is a reminder of the growing anti-Israel, anti-Semitic extremism in North America. This man is 100% right. We must not stay silent in the face of hate. And I agree, the Jewish people have had some, man, I'm not saying Jewish people are perfect, folks. I find a lot of them actually, honestly, obnoxious as shit. Not all. I have a couple Jewish friends. But a lot of them are very obnoxious. They're very strict, you can't marry anybody that's not a Jew thing. And they are kind of arrogant at times about stuff. I'll admit it. But as a people, they've been through some amazingly bad stuff. So I don't know, just wow. Left's plan by design, yeah, 100%. That's why they start with the young, yes. And the lefties aren't having kids. Center and right, especially right-leaning people, are having kids. So why they have to go after your kids in schools? Because they need to indoctrinate somebody to keep their movements going. Well, what we've got right now is 10 plus years of insane brainwashing, and now it's coming back to bite us in the ass. And we got all this immigration crap where this man here in Canada has to come out and he talks about extremism in North America against Jews. Yeah. Let me see here. Sorry. Oh, this is a jack nugget right here. Oh, my God. Let me get my headphones. Sorry. Boulder Colorado police chief is contradicting the FBI contradicting FBI Director Kash Patel. Says he's not yet calling it a terror attack, which was carried out by someone shouting pro-Palestine rhetoric to pro-Israel demonstrators and threw fiery things into a group of elderly pro-Israel people. But now, nothing to see here. I understand being careful watching it, but when a duck walks up to you and goes quack, and you look at it, see it's a duck, and hear it go quack, it's a duck. This guy is a politician. I don't like politicians as police officers.
I've been in contact with our local FBI multiple times. We are in contact with them here. We are not calling it a terror attack at this point. Again, it's way too early to speculate motive. I know there's a lot out there on social media, but I ask people just to give us a little bit of patience while we work through a really complex scene. A lot of witnesses were here. We've taken them to another location to debrief them and interview them. As we do that, I think the picture will become more clear. But it would be irresponsible for me to speculate on motive this early on. We're only a couple hours into this thing.
You know what? You could at least speculate and just say I'm speculating. I get it. If he doesn't want to, okay. But don't shine us on either. Come on. They will ship him home probably back to Egypt. Yeah. I personally would like to see him in El Salvador in that prison. That's what I think. Next time we never work for Jews. Palestine is a terrorist organization in and of itself. Anyone that's pro-Palestine is pro-terrorism anymore. If you are 2+ terrorist attackers have in America as they attacked American citizens, that is it. That's terrorist organization. The pro-Palestine crap, the free Palestine, the anti... Oh, no. I'm done with this. Yeah, 100% American Explorer. It is, you're a scum. And I'm done. Partially just because, oh, I see you over there, American Explorer. I see ya. In fact, I'll say hi to you over on Rumble. Sorry, I'm trying to reach. There. Thank you, man. Thank you for being over on Rumble. I see you on both. Okay. Sorry I didn't check it quick enough. Like I said, I'm a little off center here. But I don't know. Don't shine us on. I would rather he said nothing. Hey, we don't know any facts right now. I'm not going to say anything until we find out. I'd rather that. But kind of contradicting it. It's pretty obvious. Here's the dude right there. Looks like he's got some more devices in his hands. All right. Solomon. Mohammed Sabri Solomon, Egyptian national, was in the U.S. illegally. Yes, he was here illegally. I know Democrat and media mints on this. You watch. He entered on a B-2 visa during the Biden administration and never left, even though it was expired. And they didn't do it to make him leave either. Solomon used a flamethrower and Molotov cocktails to attack elderly demonstrators, injured at least 6, and that stuff is in his hands. I'm betting is more. And yes, I'll admit I'm speculating. But looks like they got some fuses on them there. So yeah, this winter. Sheesh. You know what I'm going to give credit to, bro? Look at this. Good on every person here who's standing there trying to help. Look at all these people helping. You saw people running to get more water. You saw people holding people, talking to them. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for helping. I mean, dang right. Sorry, well, I'll be here as long as my voice will hold up. How's that? So to all these people right here we see helping, thank you. That offsets this dickhead right here. See something hanging out of his pocket there. Could be a lighter or something. Yeah. Now everyone can see what a... Connie, I kept this one for you. I know you love Colorado, dear. Now everyone can see what a shithole Colorado has become. I know even you will admit, and you know my wife's aunt will admit, that Colorado is nowhere near what it formerly was. You go back 10 years ago, Colorado, a whole different state. Hell, you go back 15, 20 years ago, it was radically different than it is now. Colorado has gone way downhill. Every state who adopts the super deep leftist ideologies goes downhill. Palestine, the terror organization, yeah. There are flights to Egypt with a layover in El Salvador. 100%. Exactly. Exactly. In fact, I'm going to answer you over there. Oops, wrong button. Hey, you know what? Use the right keyboard. Ha ha. Use the right keyboard. Ha. Sorry, I am reaching here. I said I am not myself. But yeah, I apologize, Connie, but it's just, I know you know, dear. I know you do. You never struck me as a person who's unrealistic. Whether we agree on everything or not, you don't seem very unrealistic, and you've talked about how you bemoan the fall of Colorado. But here, we're going to play this, get a look at this. I'm not going to blow it up all the way, but dude behind him has got some balls.
We're here, brother. We're here. We can't do nothing about that. We can't do nothing.
We can!
Not here.
Have to end Zionists!
Not here, bro.
And Zionist, it says it right there. Yeah.
He was wearing an orange suit with like something on his back.
Spraying alcohol,
Spraying
too.
alcohol, but what he did was he made it look like he was here.
He's making Molotov cocktails.
There's one still burning in front of him, where there's a shape in the ground. Maybe there was a person there. You see on the left, there's still people working on somebody. And he said end Zionist a couple times. That's... oh boy. Oh boy.
Well, we can't do it when he's got Molotov cocktails on
If
him.
you are fighting, you have to...
That's what he's got right here is Molotov.
Yeah, you can. I don't see them lit. Yeah, do you know how they work? You gotta light them.
We are killer.
Get back, Mom.
How many children?
We're here, brother. We're here. We can't do
How
nothing
many
about
children you
that.
killed?
We can't do nothing.
Sorry, I know I'm replaying it, but
Not
wow.
here.
You have to end Zionists.
Not here, bro.
You're not.
People are taking video right
You have
now.
to end Zionists.
People working still working on somebody over there. These people. I like this guy. This guy in the back's watching him. Well, he's watching him.
He was wearing an orange suit with like something on his back.
spraying alcohol,
Spraying
too.
alcohol. What he did was he made it look like he was here.
He's making Molotov cocktails.
Gonna stop this fight and for us.
I'm not wishing violence here. This is not me wishing violence, YouTube. But maybe karmic justice would be if he had been having these bottles and they were leaking. See that flame right below him? There's a flame right below that
Well,
bottle
we can't do it when he's got Molotov
that's still burning
cocktails.
in the grass. It might have been karmic justice if that flame had leapt to that bottle while he was holding it, maybe. Maybe. Then you always have these people. Then you got these. Patel put out a statement about a targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado without any evidence. Even the local cops on scene won't say they know what's up. This is like HHS saying someone planned to kill Orange Jesus without any evidence. What a clown show. No, the only clown show is you dickhead. Somebody has tried to take out Orange Jesus more than once. More than twice. Screw you. Plenty of evidence. The man right there, I just played a video where the man is saying, and Zionists. Others say he said free Palestine. He attacked Jewish people while saying this crap. I think that's plenty of proof. But there's always going to be one of these idiots. Actually, probably more. Let's see. Did anybody else call him out since I said something? Yeah, Trump and clown. See that? So somehow this goes into attacking Trump again. Yeah, so a lot of people are just avoiding this idiot. I don't know where my post got deleted. Oh. So he's a lunatic. Oh, Lordy. I don't know. I'm just, we don't need this in America, guys. It's time for Trump, the administration, Tulsi Gabbard, the FBI, DOJ. That's it. Declare all this shit terrorist stuff. Declare it terrorist organizations. By the way, this flag in the background probably doesn't help. More violent lunatics. So yeah. I did like this one, American Papa Bear, though. It is illegal to carry a firearm in the area of Boulder, Colorado, where the attack happened today. Liberal gun control laws prevented law-abiding citizens from stopping this attack. Let that sink in. 100%. 100%. I'm going to share, repost that. 100%. Maybe somebody could, maybe nothing could have been done. But maybe, just maybe, somebody with a firearm pulls it on the guy, he stops. Or maybe he only would have got 1 or 2 people instead of 6. They could have stopped him possibly. But oh no. Another lefty state where they take away your right to self-defense, where these people had no defense. Because somehow leftards think if they just make one more gun law, crazy people and bad guys are going to follow them too. Or crazy people and bad guys won't do this. Well, they can't have a gun. Okay, so they'll just do this crap. We do not need to turn into England, UK, Europe. They have this crap happen semi-often. Not a chance. Remember when Biden, FBI, DHS tried to convince us that white supremacists were our greatest terror threat? It's the whole reason Biden ran. The whole Charlottesville white supremes thing. His whole reason for running for president was a lie. Time to wake up, America, before we look like Paris and London. 100%. 100%. I think he ended up throwing those other 2 in nearby windows. Oh, wow. I didn't see that. Wow. That's freaky. Holy crap. I am scooting back and forth. Sorry, when I'm looking over, I'm scooting back between YouTube and Rumble chat, guys. So, sorry about that. Yeah, but I agree. We don't need to become Paris in London. This shit can't take foot here. No. White supremacists. Yeah, what white supremes attacks are we having? And we know what it looks like because we used to have some way back in our history. What white supremacist attacks are we having? There's another jackass, by the way. That moment when mainstream news is reporting the same catchphrase, targeted terror attack, at hashtag Boulder, hashtag Colorado. It was staged. Here we go. Here we go. Another one. There's two. Yeah, I bookmarked a couple of the crazies because I think we all need to see. Once again, I always say you should always watch media from all sides. No matter which side you're on, you got to know what the other side is saying. Even you lefties, which you don't do, you stick in your bubble. But for the rest of us on the center and the right, always watch the left, read the left, hunt down people like this online, folks, to read their stuff on YouTube, and read what the crazy crap they're putting out. My gods. But yeah, woof. Sorry, I was going through and making sure there's nothing else I had on this. I don't think so. 3 hours ago, FBI confirms the attacker in Boulder. I'm not sure how many times I can say that word on YouTube. Is 45-year-old Mohammed Solomon. There are 6 elderly victims being treated as he threw flamethrowers. Okay, he didn't throw flamethrowers. He threw the Molotovs and had a makeshift flamethrower also. He yelled, look at that, free Palestine. So once again, to this idiot right here who wants to say there's no evidence. Where'd my buddy go? This guy. Plenty of evidence, you moron. Orange Jesus. By the way, I love how they still call him Orange, even though it's been proven that lefty media has been putting a filter on him. This is how stupid lefties are. Man, threw 2 of them in the windows. That was great. F all these people and deport them all. Yeah, 100%. I'm done. I'm done with it. All right, this is 4 hours ago. New witness gives horrific accounts of the targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Say the suspect had an accent. Just because somebody has an accent don't mean they're bad, but yeah, what if he has the accent yelling free Palestine and Zionist? There's a woman who's on the ground bleeding out, and then there were 2 other women whose calves were burned from the fire. I just ran over to stay with them and make sure they didn't lose too much blood from their legs. Oh, that means that the burns are bad if you're already bleeding. I mean, holy crap, folks.
There's a woman who was on the ground bleeding out. Oh my gosh, sorry. And then there are 2 other women whose calves were burned.
I'm not trying to be gross, but if you're bleeding out within minutes from a burns, those are not good burns. Man. You know, there's no good burns that are good, but you know what I mean. Holy crap.
From the fire. And so I just ran over to stay with them and make sure that they didn't, like, lose too much blood from their legs.
And there was a woman that was burning on the ground. And then we noticed 2 other people that had also been affected by the burns on their legs. And this man was shirtless and was yelling with some kind of accent and was threatening to burn people.
There's a woman.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. That's true, Connie. All right. Here's one. Let's take a listen here. Scott Bottoms for Colorado. Today, a heinous terror attack struck Boulder. Molotov cocktails hurled at peaceful pro-Israel rally, honoring hostages still held since 10/7/2023. Same evil mentality behind Hamas is now burning people in Colorado. We've had enough. As governor, I will stop this. Governor, stand with the victims and their families. Reclaim safety and security for all Coloradans and join me in this chaos. Hey, dickhead, you helped this chaos. You lefty lunatics helped this chaos. Your citizens couldn't even be armed there.
Hello, this is Representative Scott Bottoms. I want to tell you a little bit about this heinous attack in Boulder today by a group of terrorists that were attacking a group of people that were peacefully walking to...
So you got the mayor, you got the governor up here, and you got this guy, the representative
here.
Sorry, I mixed it.
The hostages that were taken back in October 7, 2023. They're still in captivity. They're still being brutalized. And these people
if they're even
are
alive,
walking about this. And the same kind of terrorists that are Hamas that took these people is the same kind of evil mentality that thinks that setting people on fire in Boulder, Colorado, because they are peacefully walking for something that should never have happened in the first place is horrible. I can promise you, as governor, I will shut this stuff down. We will not have this terrorist mentality moving through.
First he said representative, then he said governor.
We will not have anti-Israeli mentality moving through the state of Colorado. We must stand in solidarity with these families that lost loved ones today, with people that were hurt, that are in hospital.
Connie, I need your help. Is he running for governor? Because he said representative. But then he says as governor, so is he running for governor? Is that what's happening? And I hope you know, because since this is your zone. American Explorer, do you know? Is he running for governor? Sorry. Sorry. I think he is running. Okay, the real question. Hey, no reply. Real question is, why is Israel letting their war spill over to American soil? They're not. People are choosing that here. People are choosing here to act on a war around the world. Israel didn't send this guy over here. Any war can spill over. It's the people in another country that choose. We have Americans in Chicago going and ending people's lives over a war that has nothing to do with them. That's not on Israel. That's not even on Gaza totally. It really isn't. They didn't say go and take these people out. Now, why I say maybe not on people in Gaza totally is Hamas does this shit. Hamas does this shit worldwide. You speak up against them, or Mohammed, they go after you physically. You don't have to be about the Israeli thing. It's not spilling over. One, this guy was an Egyptian who shouldn't have been here. The other guy was an American, but it has nothing to do with spilling over. It's these people deciding that a war clear around the world is so important somehow to them and their brains. Not shit going on in their own country, or not shit right here, just to go after people that are elderly, peacefully walking and talking about hostages. So this guy, like I said, I'm not going to put this on Israel, and I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying Hamas has a history and a habit of going after anybody who disagrees with them. It doesn't matter if it's over Israel or not. They do terrorist attacks. So there's where we have a problem. Oh, okay. Thanks, American Explorer. Appreciate it, man. So yeah, actually, let me open that new tab. Let me see here. Scott Bottoms. I don't care about my cookies. Shut up. Okay, so he's running for governor. All right, thank you. Now, is he a Democrat or Republican? And I'm not a party member, guys. I just want to know, because in certain states, if you are in Illinois and you're a Democrat, I will not vote for you. Because Illinois Democrats are assholes and they're all one way. Oh, I don't know, but in certain states, you can still vote for some Democrats because they're not all lunatics. But I do know in my state, you do not vote for Democrats. because they have a supermajority. So there's nobody to blame but Democrats in my state for screwing the pooch here. So is he... I'm just curious. Why I'm running. Return our state to the people? Does that mean he's for gun rights and stuff? And build on conservative principles? Okay, wow. Now let me ask Connie, since Connie is in Colorado. What do you think his chances are? What do you think his chances are of winning in Colorado, Connie? By the way, no reply. I'm sorry if I sound funny. I'm pretty sick, but thank you for coming in, and I like your comment, but I hope I didn't bite back too fast. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a little off. Yeah, I can hear that. But no, people chose to do this. And that's a problem we have, because I don't want it here. As I had, I'll post up here farther. It says we don't want America turning into what happens in London and Paris. And I totally agree. We do not want this here, right here. It's time to wake up, America, before we look like Paris and London. 100%. These groups need to be called terrorist organizations. Anybody, no reply. I don't even know your stances. But anybody that now, in groups of people that spout free Palestine or this Jew hate stuff, automatically should be called a terrorist organization. You're ending people's lives in America. When I see Jewish people doing the same in America, I would label them the same way. I am anti-ending Americans. I'm anti-having this crap on our soil. I don't care which side. If there are groups of Jewish people attacking the pro-Palestinian supporters and ending them, I'd say, that's it. You're a terrorist organization. But right now, it's one side attacking one side and ending Americans' lives in America. That's where I end it. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Well, I'm a little off. I can't tell how I come across in my voice this way, and being able to barely breathe. You don't agree with any of them? Okay. Now, no reply. You came in late, and I think you've probably heard my stance before. I just don't think America should be involved. I'm tired of this forever war that's been going on since before I was born. It's still going on. Why is it still going on? Because everybody keeps stepping in the way. You can't, if you keep stepping in the way, a war that keeps going on for generation after generation, sooner or later it's worth letting one side. That's the way wars have always ended, except this war. Wars end when one side beats the other side into submission. The other side has to give up or be decimated and gone. That's why we don't have wars go on forever and forever. If World War II was fought this way, it'd still be going on. We'd still be losing lives year after year after year. Sooner or later, it becomes worth it to just have one side stomp in the mud hole in the other one and end it. You may go, oh my God, lost a life. But how many lives are lost on both sides, decade after decade after decade? It far outweighs it. So that's where I'm at, but I agree. America should not be involved. I know I get Jim Patterson disagrees with me. And if I had to choose between the two sides, I do think Israel is more aligned with our beliefs. I do. If I was really pinned down and had to choose, I'm going to say, yeah, Israel. Do I think they've done everything right? No. Do I support them every way? No. But once again, if I had to choose, but I don't have to choose. No American has to choose. That's my point. That guy from Chicago did not have to choose to end people's lives. This guy did not have to. He's in America. He's away from this. He had a choice. He could have protested, counter-protested, brought another group. They could have, back and forth a little, whatever. So, yeah, we need to be out of it. No reply. You know what, buddy? I'm not sure if I'm an isolationist, but I definitely go with what our forefathers wrote about being careful of getting into treaties and allies and stuff like that. I think maybe we should have an ally or two. But in the most part, I agree with you. I am tired of this it's because of our treaties, our allies, and everything else where we'll be drawn in all these wars. Or at least it gives our deep state warmongers in the military-industrial complex here ways and reasons to get into wars. Which is why the military-industrial complex And our deep state is, and our warmonger neocons are all for staying in all the NATO and UN and getting involved here, there, and everywhere because they're all getting that sweet, sweet money and also power. So, no reply. I may agree with you, let's say 75% of the way on that. I'm for an ally or two, even though I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not sure. Okay, this is going to be a definite opinion from you guys. Do you, by the way, the American Explorer, if I didn't say it, thank you very much for that source. I appreciate it. Do you guys think we should be allied with the UK anymore? Knowing what they're doing, arresting people for social media posts. A woman was just put in jail for 2 years for a social media post that was up for 3 hours. She's getting more time in jail than foreign immigrants who are attacking women and children are getting. I'm not sure we should be allied at all with the UK anymore. I'm not sure they represent democracy that they used to. I'm not sure Germany's any better. Remember the 60 Minutes thing I covered? What, about a month ago or so? They're arresting people and they thought it was funny. How many people they arrest for words and speech in Germany? Hitler much? Come on, Germany. People are not knowing what to believe anymore. You know, Connie, I can go with that. And you're right. By the way, no reply, you're right. They did not like permanent allies. I agree. You're right. They did not like it. And I would say I could go with that. I don't mind allies, but it should be fluid. You go with but you align with us, fine. But does the UK align with us anymore? And as I see, you said no. Yeah, they don't align with us anymore. They will arrest autistic girls for telling a police officer she reminds her of her gay aunt. That's where you attack a child? I don't mind allies, but they're fluid. And it's dependent on what's good for us. But Connie, I think it's confusing. People don't know what to believe. I can go with that. But there is no reason, I don't care what you believe, do or do not know, that you're going to walk around ending people in our country over their bullshit conflict. Over a conflict going on long before us. And if unless anything changes, it'll be going on long after us. So yeah, 100%. Oops, sorry, I lost my mouse. I was checking the... All right. Whoops, I hit something there. Okay. Sorry, flipping back between windows. We should sanction the UK for violating basic right of Western world. 100%. Freedom of expression has been a cornerstone. Yes, and the thing is, we took a lot, not all. Our forefathers took the best of Britain and the UK government, the parliamentary system, took the best of that democracy type stuff, and then built it into a republic. The British people used to be huge into democracy and freedom and rights. Look what they are now. Their street corners look like porcupines of cameras and microphones and stuff. But it seems like it only works on their own people, not all the illegals they keep bringing in. Fluid allies and treaties over permanent partnership. Boom, you and I agree. That you and I can agree with. I'm sorry, I gotta move. I gotta blow my nose. I'm gonna turn the mic off. Let me see if I can just go to mute. Somebody's turning it off. I'm gonna mute it. I don't think you want to hear me blowing my nose. There we go. Boom. Did that mute? Can you guys hear me? Did that mute? Can you guys hear me? I hope not. I hope not. Oh my gosh. You probably can still hear me, but probably just gave an echo. That's all I did. Sorry, guys. Wow. I feel like Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters right now. But the ectoplasm is inside. Ugh. But yeah, I agree 100%. Fluid allies. I'm done with this. We should not be putting up with this crap in America. But I agree with sanctioning the UK. I would also do it to Germany. I personally think NATO is outdated. I would get outside of NATO. Because we have countries like Germany, UK, everybody else wanting to pull us into shit. And these people don't even represent us anymore and our freedoms. Even as bad as ours have been dented, they don't represent our freedoms. Sorry, guys. So no reply. You and I think you and I agree for the most part by far. All right. Sorry. Let me see where I was heading with this. I think I was done. Oh, come on. All right, it's down below. Sorry. I tried to put these in order, but I was getting a little woofy. I can't take cold medicine. I'm not allowed in my lungs, so I get to suffer through it. Exactly, no reply. We were going to chit-chat a little bit. Man, I got to get by that one. That's one that YouTube may not want me to sit on. So I'm not going to do that. You guys see this stuff, though? Wow. And I know a lot of people with a little Ukraine flag in their bio, or Ukraine flag out front of their house, or the Ukraine flag pins, are celebrating this. It's another war I do not want us to be involved in. I'll bet no reply is going to go, frig right. I don't want us involved in this war either. And I keep saying it. It is time for Europe to clean up the dog shit in their own backyards. I am so tired of us having to run to the aid of everybody for every war, every natural disaster, every treaty we have to help negotiate. Yet when shit happens in America, who helps us? Exactly. We have huge natural disasters. Do you see NATO and the UN just gathering up people to help us or send tons of money or medical supplies? No. Nobody ever helps us. And I'm not trying to be a prick. The Bible, but the Bible does say charity starts at home. It's time we start being a little more charitable to our own people than to the world. We've been so charitable to the world. I'm tired of it. Yeah, it was, dude. Right out of Call of Duty. This is crazy shit. I don't think there's any sound on this one, is there? Sorry. Let's see here. I'll even puff it up. I know I might be in the way a little, but that kind of gets crappy. But let me know if you can see that okay. But so crazy. Poof. It does look like the initial reports were overblown. They were trying to say they took out 40 of these 60 plus 66 bomber jets, special bomber jets they had. Now there's people saying it's only like 8 were actually taken out. Others were damaged but can be easily repaired. But that is crazy. And there's a lot of neocons out there, and for those of you who don't know, that's the warmonger conservatives, the loony left, the people that are Ukraine pins are going, woohoo! Ukrainian drones also hit Belaya Air Base, 4,200 kilometers from Ukraine. They hit shit clear out in Siberia. In the video, confirmation of several Russian bombers being destroyed. I don't know about confirmation. You're flying. That is the drone camera. That's the same thing I saw from my DJI cameras. Wow. Except for some of the telemetry and altimeter marks and everything. Russian aircraft at angles to base in the Saratov region took off to escape. Yeah. So they got a lot of their planes up in the air. Afterwards, but wow. This is crazy. I mean, look at this. Look at the damage. That one there doesn't. That one looks repairable, but it did take a hit. Looks like it got underneath. But this is not all Russia has. I know people are talking, "Oh my gosh, we got them now." Ukraine just took Russia out of the war. That is stupid. They did not take them out of the war. Yeah. It's crazy that they trucked them in containers. They had the Russians drive them. Yeah, it's Russian truck drivers innocently driving loads, and then the tops open. And I couldn't find it before I came live. There's a few videos of people, Russian citizens, jumping on top of the trucks trying to keep the lids shut once they saw what was coming out. It's like, whoa, crazy. Yeah, drove them all over the country. And this has been set up. They're saying this was in the works for 18 months. So way back before Trump ever became elected. And I'm not saying the leader of a country has to inform our president of everything. But when Trump is fighting for peace, trying to get Putin to talk, and this is already planned, maybe mention it. Ukraine attacked a Russian airbase, destroyed 4 Tu-95 bombers, actually attacked 4 bases. Putin must drop an Oreshnik on Kiev. His softy approach against Zelensky is annoying. So this person thinks that Russia's been way too fuzzy. See, I gave you both sides there. I gave you one guy with all the Ukraine in. But this guy down here, he's saying that they've been way too fuzzy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Russia has been fuzzy in this? The world, once again, you got lefties saying, if we don't stop Russia, they'll take over all of Europe. Then lefties also, they can't even take over Ukraine. I personally do not believe Russia has been exerting its full force. I think they were surprised by what the Ukrainians have put up for a fight. But I don't think they've been exerting full force. And I really don't. So, yeah. And Connie, I didn't see if you answered me. Do you think that Scott Bottoms can win in Colorado or not? Or do you think he's up a creek? So, yeah. But, oof, that is craziness. I mean, I'm not saying it was a wrong thing to do for them, but, I mean, maybe let us know. Ukraine's Operation Spiderweb, a masterclass in modern drone warfare. 100%. These drones are maybe, with explosive payloads, are probably all told of, let's say high-end, $50,000 a drone. Well, okay, let's say 20 probably. They just took out $100+ million aircraft. Multiples. Wow. That's crazy. Look at these things. Oof. Look at those little suckers. That is nuts. It just shows you how scary. I don't know if how many of you guys seen the movie Angel Has Fallen. It's the Gerard Butler movie, I believe the last one in the his series about being a Secret Service agent. But see the drone attacks? That was all computer controlled for that. And that was a while ago. Now we're seeing it on the modern battlefield. We're seeing computerized controlled drone attacks. And here they are coming out of this truck.
Опять взлетела. Откуда взлетает, ничего не понятно, блядь. Вот он, клоун, блядь. Оба ни с того ни с сего, сука. Оба! Вот дела, блядь. Ёб твою мать, до чего техника дошла. А нахуя мы работаем
Takes off and flies away.
Лучше он коптером управляет, нахуй. Грузовать и все. О, блядь. А, это менты сшибают его, прикинь. Это какой-то с автомата очередь, нахуй. О, нихуя себе дела, блядь. Оказывается,
and then he swings back and another one comes out. I believe. I think so.
Промазали, нахуй.
Wild berries.
Опять туда полетел, сука, в эту гущу, нахуй. Вот еще один,
Yep,
сука,
there it is. There's another one coming out.
Вот он, еще один пидорас.
Whoops. I don't know if there's any more on. Oh, there's that one. We saw that. That's crazy. Look at the telemetry on that. Friggin' crazy. Arducopter. Wow, that is nuts. Coming in. Well, my DJI, you can get DJI drones for a couple thousand. I think these are more advanced than a DJI drone. I think these are definitely more advanced and able to handle a little more of a payload. So I'm going to say 2,000 to 5,000 a drone, but still, you're taking a $100 million aircraft. Besides that, this is a shot to the psyche of Russian citizens. I mean, yahoo! I think it was a good attack, but if you look at the drone footage, you'll see that the planes attacked were non-op planes are all under maintenance. Oh, nice. I didn't hear that, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, they don't look very ready to take off. All definitely made in Ukraine from DJI parts. Oh my. Some people said they got them from China. It's like, oof. Of course, could be worse. They could have been given to by our military. Oh, crap. Well, that'd be direct. You don't want a direct link. Mostly a PSYOP. You know what? I would agree, America's agreed. 100%. Because this just showed the Russian citizenry that they can be touched, just like Doolittle did. You know what Doolittle did back in World War II? Their bombing attack over mainland Japan didn't do much damage, really. Really did not. If you look at how much damage it really did. But it was huge on the psyche of the Japanese people. Their mainland had never been touched. So yeah, I have to agree with you, bud. Wow, that is way behind. Sorry. Trying to figure out why my other screen has my YouTube way behind. Hey, that makes better sense. Okay. I think it's mad when I switch to and from YouTube to Rumble. Psy are the best warfare. Well, at the very least, they do help. I'm going to say nothing takes precedent over a good weapon and a good soldier. But PSYOPs are a huge deal. That is so cool. That comes down slow. It's like, you know what was next? Coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. You know, as soon as he touched, boom. Yep. And I'll say that these planes, I think you're right, because if you look at these planes, they don't look ready to fly. Also, if they'd been ready and full of fuel, there'd been a bigger fire. They'd have been boom, 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 boom. Yow. That's crazy. Whew. Airbase status a couple days ago, and then woof. Wow, that's crazy. PSYOPs. That's okay. I call it auto incorrect. I knew what you meant. But yeah, auto incorrect, man. Trust me, it is auto incorrect. Now, here's the problem. People are celebrating this. And I'm not saying Ukraine. I don't know. Just, this has been planned for 18 months. Is what they were saying. And wow, you could at least maybe let us know if we're doing all this dancing. Trying to make peace, trying to talk to you. I don't know. But I don't think people should be celebrating this. Ukraine has attacked Russian airbase by destroying 40 aircraft. You know, that's been shown now there's less. Putin responded. Ukraine has signed its death warrant tonight. Russia is considering using a tactical nuclear strike on Ukraine. It will be an extremely tough night for Ukraine. I haven't heard anything, so I don't think it's happening. All NATO countries have raised their alert level to maximum state of readiness. I heard some people saying, oh, they'll never use a tactical nuke because the rest of the world would turn against them. Would they? Would they? When you back somebody into a corner, an animal and stuff, they will do whatever it takes. Russia has always been like that. You back Russians into a corner, they are the badger. I don't know. If it came down where that's what he had left, he might. And by the way, he won't be doing it alone because North Korea has already sent soldiers to help them. So he'll be doing it with North Korea, By the way, North Korea's been arming up lately too, even though their ship debacle lately. They've been arming up. China's arming up. China would use any type of thing going on here, and they would have to go on in the Pacific. It could trigger something really huge. We could see another axis of powers here. And there are possibly some other countries that would join them. So maybe Turkey. They're part of. They're supposedly aligned with the West, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he'll do it tonight, but I think they've really pushed some buttons and yike. Ukraine claims massive drone strike and Russian bombers. Oh. See, this one says targeted 41, not destroyed 41. So, yeah. When tomorrow, Zelensky is sending a delegation to Istanbul for supposed ceasefire talks. Whoops. I will say, if there were any ceasefire talks about to happen tomorrow, yeah, he just wiped his ass with those. I don't think the Russians are going to sit down at the table with him now. Do you? Seriously. I don't think... how do you sit down at the table the next day and talk about peace? I don't know. The night before. Oof. That doesn't look good, though. The day before he's going to have peace talks. I don't know. Here's a map of the 4 Russian air bases Ukraine hit with drone attacks. Look how deeply they penetrate. Well, yeah, they used the Russian truckers to drag them all over. Look at that. Ukraine's way the hell over here where I'm circling. They hit these 2 that aren't too far from Ukraine. That's fine. But look where this one is. Way friggin' north. And Belaya is way out by Mongolia. Wow. China and Russia are really threats. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The problem is no reply. Oh, no problem, Connie. Oh, you did? Okay. The problem is no reply is I don't want America involved. And I don't know. We've depleted ourselves an awful lot by giving so much money, so much weaponry. Do I think we would get automatically attacked here? No, but I don't want us drug into another war. I just see us getting drug into another war because we're part of NATO. We're part of the UN. And if Russia, Ukraine really lights off heavily, other countries are going to be drug in. And if China goes nuts over here in the South Sea or something, they're going to go after allies of ours. They're going to go after UN nations. They're going to hit Japan. They're going to hit Taiwan. They're going to hit probably Australia. So, shit. I don't want it to get like World War II, where there's a point where some horrible bad person like Captain Adolf, if we don't step in, his jackass would take over the planet, and then it's us against all of that. If we hadn't stepped into World War II, oh shit, we might be speaking Russian now. Because sooner or later, with everything they had, if they were allowed to take over and solidify, it'd have been America and a couple other countries versus that behemoth. And wow. That'd be like if all the rest of America wanted to take over Rhode Island. You know, Rhode Island's screwed. The rest of America says that's it. So that's what I'm worried. I'm worried about us getting drugged into this crap. Other people, plus the amount of deaths and stuff that could happen. And what are the chances some of these people are going to use chemical warfare that may end up getting over here? Or illnesses and stuff. More viruses. Oh, crap. So, yeah. Putin is mousing with them. I don't know. If he is, then he probably is about done doing it. Imagine all the checkpoints it cleared. Yeah. Yeah. Standard truckers. Standard truckers took them around. Article 5 does not require a military response, thankfully. Japan is the only one we have to worry about. If anyone attacks Japan, we have to protect Japan. I think we have treaties with Taiwan, too, and Australia. I think Taiwan and Australia. Plus, once again, it comes down to a point. Let's just say we don't get involved, and it goes the way World War II was going before we got involved. Let's say the allies, the new allies, start losing badly, and then somebody gets big britches. What if they don't make the same mistake this time and attack us? They just keep concentrating on the other allies and start beating them into submission, taking over more and more of the world. Sooner or later, we may have to, so we're not facing 10, 15, 20 years down the road, some military behemoth that has most of the planet that even we can't beat. So it's a worry. We have to watch. And I would wonder if any axis of powers type stuff would look at what Japan did and go, let's not mess with America now. Long term, we'll give it 10, 15 years once we take over everything else. That is a worry we have to watch. But we can't, problem is we can't, the world cannot afford China to have Taiwan. I believe around 80 to 90% of all the world's superconductors are done in Taiwan. If China gets that, that is a monstrous stranglehold on the technology and the whole world, honestly, it is. It's a really stranglehold. I don't think we can let China have Taiwan. I really don't think so. I'm just saying, I don't think we can let them have Taiwan. I don't think the world can afford for China to have Taiwan. It would decimate so much of our technology. Yes, Trump is trying to get things going here, but we're nowhere close. And the rest of the world is even farther behind us. So that would be a huge thing for China. Maybe the drone got caught up the jet stream. Make video Taiwan's defense articles, yeah. New Zealand and the United States does not include an automatic obligation. I don't care if it includes an automatic obligation. You're still, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if it gets to a huge point, this war spreads worldwide, sooner or later, there's a good chance we will have to step in. Or it will get out of control where we are going to be screwed over in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Well, they'll be able to look at America, maybe the last man standing, go, surrender or else. That's what we have to worry about. I don't know if we can do that. Sooner or later, we're probably going to have to get involved with our military. Nobody's trained as good as our military. Nobody's equipped like our military. Nobody can handle our weaponry like our military. And if it goes the way of World War II, we would have to get involved. We had to be involved. Without our soldiers, our weaponry, World War II would have been lost. And that's clear. And there is a chance a World War III could be the same way. I'm not saying we automatically get involved. I'm saying we got to watch close. We've got to be very watchful. Not to let something go to a point where it's going to threaten us. So, yeah. And just like any war, if we're supplying weaponry to all these other countries against the Axis, they could declare war on us. Because we are, so. If a world war kicks off, I don't see we can stay out of it. A conflict like Ukraine and Russia, yeah, we can stay out of. Israel-Gaza, we can stay out of. Israel-Iran, we can stay out of. Brazil versus Bolivia, we can stay out of it. Mexico and Canada, no, we're not going to be able to stay out of it because we're in the middle. But we can stay out of most. But a world conflict, I don't think we can stay out. I just don't think it can work. Yeah. That is just something. And I'll give kudos to Ukraine where kudos is due. Woof. What a psyop. What a well-planned attack. It does worry me, though, what Russia will do. The world appears to be heading towards a world war. Ukraine has carried out a drone attack on Russia. The whole world is watching tonight to see how Russia responds. Now, let me ask you a question here. This is, okay, everybody else. Rumble, you guys too. I see some of you over there. Welcome, by the way. Thank you. What do you think Russia will do? Part 2. How fast do you think they'll do something about it? Do you think it'll be tonight? Next 48 hours? And what do you think they'll do? Will they just ramp up all their conventional attacks? Or will they start launching heavy-duty ICBMs? They don't need nuke-tipped ones. Russia has stuff like our MOABs, guys. Our MOAB is insane. I believe it's the biggest non-nuclear bomb on Earth, our MOAB, which Trump used to turn half of the Middle East into liquid and got rid of a ton of terrorists without risking our guys. Russia has stuff like our MOABs. What if they just ICBM Kiev with MOABs? They don't need to use nukes. They use their version of MOABs and say they're Kievs. Or they're, I don't know a lot of Russian towns besides, okay, they're Kremlins. There we go. I know that's their leadership area, like our capital, but, you know, what if they just do that? But tactical nukes, that's where Russia has an advantage of us. We have a crap load of big nukes. Russia has little bitty tacticals. We have some too, but not near as many. It's a lot like Starship Troopers. Nuke them. You know, ooh, crap. I hope we don't get in World War III. I just see it as in the horizon. I don't think... Well, World War II, we were very isolationist, actually. America was doing everything possible to not to directly get involved until Japan made a boo-boo. And you got to wonder, if Japan hadn't attacked us and our isolationist feelings had stuck, we might be speaking German today. It's almost, God help me for saying this, it's almost lucky that Japan did screw up and attack us. So, yeah. It was an absolute. My dad was in the Navy in World War II, man. And I'm not picking on our soldiers today. We have some badass soldiers. But I don't think any of our military alive today has ever seen a war, a conflict, like what happens on a world stage, a world war stage. Man. Those World War II guys were insane badass. The testosterone in American men back then. Total balls of iron, I'm telling you. Even the women had some clackers going on. Whoa. So, I mean, oof. Yeah, Russia really took care of much of World War II, you know? Or it mattered real consequences. Yeah, and I worry. I don't know, what do you guys think, though? Do you think, you said, no reply says they might try to take out Zelensky. That would have to be some type of big ICBM, MOAB type thing. Or a tactical nuke. I think if they did a ICBM/MOAB type warhead, I don't think the world can justify getting involved. They've already said their red line is if Russia uses nukes. If they can just do it non-nuke, MOAB, the whole city, done. End it. I don't know if the world will get involved. I'm not sure they can. All I know is I worry about our government. There's so many warmongers in it. Our military-industrial complex is drooling over the contracts and the trillions and trillions of dollars. A World War III would bring them. And then for the next decades after, supplying protective weaponry to everybody. And the military contracts, our own government, go nuts and build big military. Bigger than we already have. Called the greatest generation for a reason. 100%. American Explorer, 100%, man. Two older brothers, drafted in Vietnam, one Navy, one Army. Drafted, never came back home the same, yeah? Well, Vietnam, I'm sure we all know that's where we started wars for profit. That's where our government stopped fighting wars to win. Since then, we've done nation building and just sticking our nose in for money and stuff. Wars, I'm going to say this. I don't like wars. I don't want to fight them if I don't have to. But no war should be fought for any reason except to win. Hence the Israel-Gaza bullshit. Every time one side gets close to winning, everybody steps in and goes, okay, this stop. Play nice. And then it goes right back to it sooner or later. Wars should always be fought to win. One wins, one loses, done. End it. Not this bullshit. Vietnam was a clusterfuck, not due to our soldiers, due to our government people. Our government betrayed those people. Man. That's where pharmaceutical companies got rich. Them too. Thank you, no reply. Very nice. Yeah? Not just the military-industrial complex, the pharmaceuticals. Imagine the war meds and medications and antivirals and anti-gas meds and, any type of chemical warfare and biological warfare and people help injuries and holy crap, yeah, that's a good one. American Explorer had 2 great uncles who served under Patton's command. Wow. During the liberation of Germany, one was a tank operator, the other a foot soldier. Wow. Wow, that is crazy. Jermaine Event, how's that? How's it going, man? Or ma'am, I'm not sure. Sorry. That all sounds good till we start dying. I can tell you, last war we won, Taliban didn't have an air force. I kind of agree with that. Problem is, the thing is, our Air Force is second to none. Nobody can touch our air superiority. Our Navy and our air superiority are insane compared to the rest of the world. Our nuclear subs are, bar none, the most plentiful and the best in the world. I don't think we're going to have too much happening on our mainland. But welcome. And yeah, I agree, Jermaine. How was that even a fight? I don't think it really was much of a fight. Unfortunately, I think that's what some of us here were talking about, is our government was fighting wars for profit and or to keep you and I distracted. The whole George Bush Iraq war crap. What a load of shit that was. Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11, but they stirred everybody up. Remember the whole, if you're not for us, you're against us, the freedom fries, because people were pissed? That the French were like, there is none of this stuff you say is there. We inspected, it's not there. Screw you, Frenchies, freedom fries. We're not calling them French fries anymore. We threatened allies. You're with us or you're against us. So I can attack both parties who want to go to wars for money or nation building or to distract the American population from horrible economies at times. I'll reply, all the precursors required for Vietnam and manufacture of pharmaceuticals and opioids made millions. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't doubt our ability. I just don't like the fights. Me either. 100%. If I have a choice, I don't want us involved in any of these bullshit wars around the world. All these idiots got their own wars and hatreds. Leave us the flip out of it. Wars should always be avoided if possible, but fought to win if it's going to happen. The Israel-Gaza thing is one of the biggest examples to me. Everybody in the world needs to butt the fuck out and let one side win. They're losing more lives in this multi-generational war than they would if one side just stomped the other into a mud hole. If I didn't say welcome, Jermaine Event, welcome. Sorry about that. I'm a little sick tonight and I'm having a little issue even breathing, let alone talking. But yes, I don't like the fights either. I don't want our soldiers risked unless we need to. I don't want our money going overseas. I don't want a world conflict kicking off. But, Jermaine, if you came in afterwards, bud, I asked this question. What do you think Russia will do in response to this Ukraine attack? Do you think they will seriously consider a targeted tactical small nuke attack, or maybe something like Moab on ICBMs? Or will they go squishy? Oh, thank you very much, Main Event. I appreciate that. And before I get yelled at in my email tomorrow for not asking, because I don't say it enough, do me a favor, guys, whether you're on YouTube or Rumble, please hit thumbs up for the stream. And, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe right away. Come back for a couple streams. If I can keep you amused, annoyed, or engaged at all for 10 minutes for three times, then subscribe. But I should have to work for it. And anybody on YouTube should have to work for it. But thank you very much. Let me go over to Rumble. I see you guys on Rumble. I appreciate it. I know, as Jim Patterson and Connie told me, that I know you can't chat on Rumble unless you have an account, and not everybody has a Rumble account. I got that. But thank you very much for being over there. But yeah, I don't know. I like this right here, Mike Shapansky. I'm not sure the world is ready to see how Russia responds to the Ukraine drone attack. Me either. What if they do decide to use targeted tactical nukes, or just a version, like we have a Moab, they have something like it? Could you imagine what 5 ECBMs with a version of our Moab on it could do? Or just big high-altitude bombers with Moabs? Oh, my Lord. He could make a glass factory out of Kiev. And I don't think there's going to be a peace talk tomorrow. I really don't think that's done. All right. Let's see here. 117 drones are using it.
Щойно була доповідь голови Служби безпеки
Oh,
України Василя Малюка.
Is there no CCW, is there? No. All right, that's a Russian feed. Well, Ukrainian, sorry. I know the languages aren't quite the same. There's no captions on that one. Yep. Nope, no video captions. Okay. Someone will play that one. All right, we're going to move on here in a minute. We've talked about both these idiotic things. Man, I don't want to know. You know what, Jermaine? Thank you very much. I agree. I just, either Russia's going to do something really big and rough, or he's going to be squishy, and that's going to be about over for the war. Because after something this big, if he doesn't respond big, then he needs to just admit he's lost, and that's it. Lick his wounds. Thing is, I don't think he's going to give up what he's already taken. I think he would truly defend that to the hilt, what he's already taken. Especially since a lot of those people in those areas consider themselves Russian. They actually voted to secede from Ukraine, and Ukraine illegally said no, wouldn't let them. Because they are actual Russians there. So, I don't know. Hey, Texan, what's up, man? The wars in the Middle East have been going on for thousands of years, 100%. America's around for a couple hundred. We didn't start it. We ain't going to end it. Yep. I'm not going to be I could be a jerk and say, if we're in the Star Trek mirror universe where America would be the American Empire, we could end it. We could make a glass factory out of anybody over there's a jackass. Make a big litter box and glass factory out of it, if we wanted. But I don't want to, and I don't think Americans want to. I will say, God help any of those lunatics over in the Middle East. If they somehow got some type of small nuke or something like that, dirty bomb in one of our cities, that whole area is going to be a glass factory. I think Americans would be like, that's it, we're done, we're out. Jermaine, after a supposed attack on Putin earlier this week, yes, you're right. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, they did try to take him out. On Putin this week, wish we'd just talk it out. Well, I don't think it's up to us. I don't think it's up to us. But Texan's right. Unless America wants to just get nasty, go, we're effing tired of this, end your shit. And we really put foot down, no, we ain't going to end that. There's thousands of years of hate over there. Hell, the Israel Muslim thing has been going on long before America was around, before Israel was reformed or made over there. in what, the 50s or something like that, or 40s or 50s? Wasn't it 50s? There was Jewish and versus Muslim going on for thousands of years. We're not going to get rid of that hate. It's better to, honestly, and sad as it is, let them end it. Let them end it. It's better for life and liberty and money and peace of the world to let one side just end it. So, okay, but we've talked about that, the Colorado attack and Ukraine. If you missed anything from Colorado, you want to go back and look, feel free. But we are going to move on to a little happier. My voice is starting to totally croak on me. And, yeah, I'm still feeling pretty bad. In fact, I'm starting to get hot. You know, it's cold down here, so that can't be a good thing. I'm going to move on to a few stupid people for the night. Text in, over 10,000 years of war over there in the Middle East. Yeah, that's nuts. If you think America is just turning 250, they've had 10,000 years of war. Wow. Yeah, we ain't going to be fixing that. And honestly, is it our business? Let them fix it. I don't know. Hey, you know, by the way, Russia, Ukraine. Ukraine seems to be doing okay. We need to stay out of that too. What if some Ukraine nut in America, Ukraine-loving nut, starts doing the same crap just like the pro-Palestinian start doing in this country? Start ending Americans over it. Nope, nope, nope. I will say, I don't think these pro-Hamas, pro-free Palestine people know what they're asking. If America backs out of helping Israel totally, Israel is going to be the strongest it will ever be right then. Before it needs weapons or anything else. It's going to take a look at Gaza and go, that's it. You're done. We can't afford a long, protracted, blown-out bullshit thing now because we've lost our major backer. They would automatically decimate all of Gaza and Iran. Done. They would end it now. It would be over in 5 days to 2 weeks. Done. Because they know they're going to have a harder time replacing stuff and keeping up their munitions. They would just take what they got and done. Instead of this long, drawn-out thing. So to all these leftards out there, America, get out! I don't think you know what you're saying. I think Israel will go, oh, shit. Do it now while we're strong. I really think so. A pro-Ukrainian nut tried to unalive Trump already. Yeah. Dude, there's something dirty about that. He was big over there. He'd met some big people over there. There's something scurvy there. Besides how little we know about the dude from Butler, Pennsylvania. They tried to JFK Trump. I'll say it. They tried to JFK Trump. They really did. Our government has done so much dirty shit against Trump. And I'm not saying you got to like Donald Trump. It's been proven now that people who worked for Hillary were lying and Hillary knew it. They perjured themselves. Obama's on record having a meeting with Biden back when Obama was president, knowing that Hillary was doing this shit. Biden could have told his Justice Department, nah, don't be doing this shit. He didn't. So there is so much evidence of the dirty crap our government's done with Trump because he's a threat to both sides, honestly. So, yeah. That's what I said. Pro-Ukrainian nut tried to unalive Trump. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. We'd have hella international backlash, though. You think so? If we actually just backed out? I don't know. I'm tired of this. I am tired of being involved. I am tired of seeing this go on and on. And I really think Israel would just... And then you want to see lefties in this country cry? You go, you said to get out of there. We did it. Well, then you're supposed to go help them. No. No. I'm not helping people that hide bombs under schools and hide munitions and artillery batteries in hospitals. So, yeah, I'm just not doing that. They couldn't get Trump. He too. No shit, dude. 100%. Dude, Trump. If you believe in God, God totally turned that boy's head right then. If he turned his head, 20 seconds later, that thing had gone right on through. Wow. That is nuts. Camels are the main mode of transpo. Yep. Oh, sorry. The building the shooter was on is 100 times. 1,000 times more important than the shooter on the roof. Yeah. Oh, wow. Really? No reply. I did not know that. Dude, you're going to send me down a rabbit hole. Well, not tonight, because I'm going to die and watch Geeks and Gamers play Battlefront 2 when I'm done here. I'm going to die. As I said early in my stream, I'm sleeping downstairs right now on the couch in the den because I don't want my wife to get this. Ugh. They'll cry if we act. They'll cry if we enact. 100%. 100%. We are in what I always like to refer to as a Kobayashi Maru. For Star Trek fans, that is the Starfleet Academy no-win scenario they force all command candidates go through. It's a no-win scenario. I want to see how you're going to handle a no-win scenario in command of a starship. That's exactly what that is, Jermaine. No matter what we do, they're going to crap on us. 100%. AGR Glass owns the machines that manufacture and collaborate the glass machines that made the COVID-19. Oh, my Lord. It's that Kevin Bacon 6 degrees of separation. My God. Dude, that is crazy. I am going to write that down. Dude, I got to look that up. No reply, dude. Holy hell. All right. Oh, I'm going to slowly head on, but you guys have more to say about it. Feel free. AGR Glass, Monarch Pharmaceuticals, and West Pharmaceuticals, all the same company. Founded from Owens, Illinois Glass. Oh my. Pink Panther. I never did the jab. For selling, they couldn't. Well, I have a lung condition, and they really were hardcore on me. Even my care center for my lung problem. I did get the first one. And it made me feel crappy. I got the second one. These were Moderna ones. Not the ones that limped a huge amount of the problems. I refused to get the others because I knew about problems. I went with what my doctor said. I got the second one. Second one made me sick as shit. Made my wife's boss sick, and he's healthy. And my wife didn't feel good. A couple other people. I'm like, I'm done. And I have never taken a booster since. And by the way, I got the shot. And right after I had it, within about, month and a half later, I got panda flu. And then I got it again. So that thing didn't work. And I'm sure I've probably had a couple strains since. But no, I opted out. And by the way, no reply. It's kind of cool how you happen to be talking about that. Because look, I had this bookmarked already, buddy. It's that like minds thing you said earlier. Wow. But I did too, and I've opted out. I even argued with my doctors at my care center. I'm like, they kept, well, you gotta, if you need a transplant, you say your lungs go the rest of the way right now, you need a transplant. They may not do it if you don't have the shot. I'm like, well, that's stupid. That's stupid because I'm not getting those things. By that time, I knew it was huge amounts of problems. So, yeah. Well, come on. Our FBI, CIA, NSA were all involved in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of our social media. 50 intel agents said the Hunter thing was bullshit. So, yeah. Wow. Dude, I got written down on no reply. AGR Glass. I'm looking into that later. Well, probably tomorrow. I'm going to die after this. 80%. The land controlled by Britain under the Balfour Declaration. Lord Rothschild was given to Muslims in 1917. Only 12% was given to the Jews. Wow. I'm going to say one thing, and I know some people can argue with this. Feel free. Britain giving up its empire has been one of the worst things that happened to many parts of the world. I'm not saying the British people were perfect, but they really did bring a level of modernity and control and law and order to a lot of the world and educated a lot of the world. They really did. At a time there was honestly true barbarism in a lot of the places in the world, they were very advanced and really tried to educate. They didn't just subjugate. If you look at all the education they gave to everybody in their empire, it's crazy. I think the latest mistake they made in our lifetimes was Hong Kong. They should have said no. They should have said no on giving that back. Wow, only 12% was given to the Jews. Yeah. Yeah, and the Jews can't even have a little speck Israel. That's a problem. When Jews can't even have a little sliver, that means there's no place that Muslims will ever be happy with them having. So Jordan became a country. Wow. I know a decent amount, but you guys know a lot more than I do on a lot of that. Holy crap. I was a USPS carrier at the time. I had to work the entire time. Postal Union stopped making it required. Yeah. That's crazy. No, I stopped after those two original. I said, screw it. I'm just glad I didn't do some of the other ones, the Pfizer ones and some other ones that even England now and other places in Europe are going, we're stopping this shit. There's too much health problems. Thankfully, I got the Moderna one that hasn't been you're finding weird shit in your veins and having heart attacks and stuff. I'm happy enough with that. But yeah, I like this right here. Do you agree with George Clooney? Hell no, or yes. George Clooney says it's time to force jab every unvaccinated person in America. And yes, this is old. April. I don't miss this one. It says April 16, 2024. But I haven't heard him come out and say anything opposite. So yeah. And I know it's not new, but I just think it's still relevant. Because now we're talking about a new COVID strain. I haven't talked about it yet because I'm still looking and reading stuff. I may not know as much as you guys do at times, but that's why I love the chat. I watch you guys. Because chat, man, I tell everybody that's ever done a live stream, and some of you have been friends of mine for a long time, know that I've had a couple other channels that were actually pretty darn large at the time. Well, for me. Like, I know Bunny and American Explorer have been around me for a long time. But yeah, so... But I like the chat. Chat is what makes a live stream. You guys coming in and having comments, having ideas, having knowledge. American Explorer shared a link earlier. Connie lives in Colorado, gave me her thought. I mean, you can't beat this. Clooney had too much bat juice that night. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how long till they try to tell us that this new COVID strain is just a boo-boo or a leak from a wet market. Oh, my God. Now, I'm still looking up stuff. We will talk about it sometime this week unless this, whatever I've got, ends me. Phew. I always have a harder time on the aftermath of any cold or whatever virus because it really sets into my lungs. It's hard to get my lungs to recover, so we're going to see what happens in a few days. Pretty sure I had it before they told. I had it pretty bad. I did have panda flu after the shots, pretty bad. And it snowballed into a couple other problems where I was already sick, and then I got the panda. Yeah, I had it a couple times. It's not saying it's fun, but I did get through it, so, you know. So it was here, they used the excuse, be diabetic, and then break. Yeah. My problem is, and this is a fact, there was a guy that ended himself by riding his motorcycle through Davenport, Iowa, way too fast. And he wiped out and he was decapitated with his helmet on. Thank God he wore a helmet. Decapitated by one of the grounding poles come down from a telephone pole when he wiped out. They listed him, and this was a big flap here in town. They listed his ending as a COVID ending. And people are like, dude, he separated his noggin from his shoulders. But he had COVID. Oh, shut up. Didn't make him drive too fast. Holy crap, no reply. Camera's still online. They had captured video on the 13th. Video. Guys look like military uniforms to me. Camouflage helmets with cams. Or something like that. There was also a woman walking around the corner. Some of the pantsuit would be directed to the men in the military gear. The men had a rifle pointing through the wall. Looked like they had drilled a hole. What? Holy crap. Wow. There's some people saying that the shots did not come, that there was a second shooter. That something, the acoustic signature and some of the other stuff, and with that guy just doesn't add up. So since they said he was a bad shot, okay. Clooney can eat a bag of dog poo, 100%. Damn, no reply. I'm gonna rabbit hole tomorrow. All right. Sorry, you guys know I like to leave you in a little bit of up and down happiness and annoyance, but I like this. Elon Musk, such hypocrites. Yeah. So Elon Musk does it. Democrats lose their minds. But hey, what's this? What is that? That's okay. And that's the exact same thing. Look at him. Sure, he's not throwing his arm into it like Musk is, but Musk is known to be kind of autistic. They don't do... He's a weird dude. But man, I wonder how it's okay for California Democrats to do it, huh? What do you think? That guy, what a jackass. All right, and here. I'm going to assault you with this. If I got music, I won't be able to play the music. So I'm going to back up, get my headphones going. I'm going to just hit it, see what happens. All right, it's got music. I'm going to have to say no. Because even a couple seconds like that, I'll probably get copyrighted. I crap you not. Aggregate polling shows the only group that doesn't like Trump or hasn't moved a little more Trump's way are the 70-plus crowd, the old people. They hate him with a passion. It's weird. And I know a few in my family are the same way on both sides. They're a self-fixing problem. But I can't play the music because I get nailed. I played one of these and 4 seconds. I give you, crap you not, 4 seconds of music was on one of these, and I muted right away saying, I don't want to be copyrighted. I muted it. It wasn't my post. And they still gave me a copyright. At least they didn't strike me. But they did a copyright claim on me for 4 seconds. Good grief. You got to wonder if this is somebody's grandpa and their grandkids are going to go, oh, jeez. Hey, I saw your grandpa twerking to an F Trump thing the other day, and he's grabbing his crotch. Aww. Hey, I have no problem with embarrassing kids, but yike. And why is it always pretty well off lefties dancing around F Trump? Well, you are pretty rich, but remember, Trump's supposed to be for the rich people. I don't know. It's like a nice place in the background there he's in. So I don't know. Hey, no problem, man. Texan, I'm a Zionist and believe that Israel has a right to exist, but Netanyahu is a warmonger. 100%. I think this dang attack came along just perfect for Netanyahu, and just like the Democrats, never let a crisis or something not be used. Take advantage of a crisis. That's what Netanyahu's done, because he was unpopular, would probably have been voted out. Agreed, Texan. No reply. I've done so much research, wow. That is crazy. Thank you, no reply. Appreciate it, buddy. They'll come around. They got 3 years to warm up. Oh, my Lord. Woo. You think so? Hell, half of them may not live 3 years. There's a lot of the people old. A lot of the big that are marching against Doge or Trump, the people are like 65 to 80. It's like, Rrr. In fact, a lot of people are complaining, well, all the young people marching against him. Well, Gen Z's gone conservative. All right, I think that's where we're going to stop tonight. Well, actually, we'll do what I always do. I did have a few others. This, after what happened tonight, I think this one's a little more precious. What's your response to resign? We are all Muslims. No, we are not all Muslims. That's as dumb as saying we are all Christian. We are all Jewish. No, we're not. We are not. 70 plus demographic. One, in, if you still believe, yeah. Well, why are these the 70 plus demographic still hating Trump? Because they're primarily the people that only get their news from watching the cable news and mainstream media sources. A lot of other people are on here, on Rumble, on any other platform, and or sitting down and reading and researching for themselves like No Reply is obviously done and Texan is done. The rest of you guys sitting here looking and finding idiots like me or people like Salty Cracker or Tim Pool or something else. Something that covers everything more honestly. Whether you agree with them or not. Russell Brand, look how much he's changed. But they're still stuck in that ecosystem of MSNBC, ABC, and CNN. That's why they still think Trump is the teeth-gnashing, orange, racist jackass. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Jermaine. 100%. If I'm saying that wrong, buddy, I apologize. Yeah, exactly. We are all Muslims. What? I'd love to know where she gets that one. Where was? Oh, speaking of dumb, I know this may not be new either, but this is stupid right here. This is, once again, woke stupid.
And as painful as it is to hear Donald Trump talk, and as embarrassing it is as an American to hear him talk, I think it's good. We get to hear it, we get to know who people are, and now we get to cleanse it out of our country. And as painful as it is to hear Donald Trump talk,
cleanse it?
And as embarrassing it is as an American to hear him talk, I think it's good. We get to hear it, we get to know who people are, and now we get to cleanse it out of our country.
Boy, if you say that around the other way, they'll go, ethnic cleansing. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. But I think we're going to stop with that picture. Democrats call them oligarchs. What do you call them? One, the guy on the left came from almost nothing. Dude, Denny's would have been a gourmet meal to Vance at one time in his life. And it's amazing how Donald Trump used to be a Democrat. Elon Musk used to be a Democrat. RFK Jr. used to be a Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard used to be a Democrat. There's some libertarians in Trump's party. In his administration. Yet they all hate him. Everybody has dreamed forever to have a unity party. You finally have a man who did it. And also, Trump's administration proves how far left the Democrats have gone. These are all traditional Democrats over here on the, well, except for Ramaswamy. But the other four are all traditional Democrats. Crazy when you think about it. Crazy. All right, puff up here. Say goodbye to you guys. Thank you very much. Jermaine, very nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in here with very good conversation. You've added a lot to the chat, and I love that. Everybody who does talk to me regular knows I love the chat. I know American Explorer and Connie know that 100%. They were with me on a couple of my old channels. To you guys over on Rumble, thank you very much. American Explorer, thank you for digging up the link for me. And sharing that on Rumble is perfect because this computer over here seems to love Rumble. So, thank you very much for everybody. And please, hit thumbs up, like, subscribe if you like to. Or at least check back in another couple times. If I can keep you semi-entertained for at least 10 minutes each time, then please subscribe. Is Rumble an app? Yes, it is. Rumble has a normal computer. You can find it online on the computer. They have a phone app. They have all of it. That's where I watch Steven Crowder in the morning. I have a Rumble Premium account over there for watching Steven Crowder and Tim Pool and some of the others I don't want to watch with ads. Quartercast, and I watch a mix. Russell Brand is not what you're going to consider right. Tim Pool still considers himself a leftist. So I watch all the above, guys. And I always encourage you, never get in a bubble. If you are a conservative, never just watch conservative stuff. If you are a centrist, watch all sides around you. That's what I do. You must know what people you disagree with are saying when they throw it at you, or at least to know what crazy is about to come your way. So yeah. Other than that, thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated. I am going to hippity hop out of here. I'm going to go and try to see if I can get Slimer from the Real Ghostbusters out of my nose and have me some stuff. I can't take cold medicines because of my lungs, so I got breathing treatments to do, but thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Sorry if I was a little off tonight. I will, as long as nothing gets worse, I'll be back tomorrow for at least one stream. All right. Thank you very much, guys. I know I have a hard time saying goodbye. Go back, look at all my streams, even my other channels. Yeah, I have a hard time saying goodbye, but I do have to get going, and I will talk to you later. Be safe out there, everybody. Let's see what Russia does.